So we're going to be going over the page layout builder, and let me go ahead and share my screen here. And so I'm going to show you two sites here, one which is very familiar and the other which is a little bit different. So let's see here. This is it. Yeah. So this is the demo site for SolidWeb. Let me go ahead and click that button. Desktop number 2. That's the one we want. So when your website was created, it was pretty simple. It looks something like this with some recent news here and an area here for your email signups, and then a bunch of these are plugs. This is the promo area, actions, and then your events, right? So it all looks very much similar to that. And you can transform your site using the page layout builder, which is kind of buried underneath. It's not completely obvious. It's on whatever page you're on. It's under page tasks under layout. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do with that. So I'm going to hop over to the Region 9A site, who I think is probably the most shining example of utilizing this, because almost every page that they have is custom. You can see they changed everything around. They decided to have their events on top, news beneath that, and good old Elon here does not allow Twitter to be viewable unless you're logged in, but that's their Twitter feed. And then they have an embedded form here to get updates. And a lot of you folks do have this on your site. But as you can see, it's all switched around. It's changed up. The backgrounds are different. They decided to move things around a little bit. They changed how their take action displays. And they also have a directory of local unions too, which is pretty cool. So if we go under our locals here, we can see they've utilized some of the stuff that's underneath the hood. And so they decided they got a big old featured a hero area at the top. And then beneath that, they have another promo section. And then they have a little about section. And then they have a type of listing called a directory. So directory is another content type that's kind of buried under the hood of SolidWeb. And it's really there for specific use cases. So you can see there's a lot kind of that you can do with it, which is great. And just kind of change the layout of the way everything looks. You can make any page look like whatever you want it to look like. I mean, you can see they have a custom contact form that they embedded here at the bottom. So if we look at some of their other pages, I mean, you can see they just really changed the layout, how everything is. So they have the Our Work page, which is a section page that is a collection of other section pages. So each of these is an individual section page. So they created a section page and they just deleted everything they didn't need in the layout editor, and basically had it really easy to be laid out here. So if you click on any of these, it goes to one of the splash pages within. This is the membership. This is the membership education, and it looks like this one here is even, yeah, it's under Our Work here. So yeah, a bunch of different custom types of content on here. These are a bunch of individual content blocks with links in it, and they set the background color and to this teal color, or light blue, and then white text. So they did a lot of customization on that, and it's really not incredibly difficult to approach. So the use case we're gonna look at today, and what I was asked to do, is to see how do we approach videos in that section, in that area, because I think a lot of folks have used embed codes at one point or time, and you can do that with SolidWeb. And it got me thinking that it would be great if we could simplify that a little bit and have an entire channel or a playlist embedded. So we built a custom tool here that is in beta testing, and everyone on this call, if you want to test it out, I'd love to, because we got to do what's called a stress test. And what this does is allows you to embed any sort of feed on your, channel or group, or not group, yeah, YouTube channel or playlist. So if we take a look at this here, you can see the bunch of stuff I'm developing here, but this is what it is. So you can take any YouTube channel or any YouTube playlist, paste in the link, and it'll preview the channel for you. So if let's say you have a bunch of videos that you put together that are about your local union, and you want to display them, or maybe there's like a feature from a region. So you have like your YouTube account, and you create a playlist, or you can take other playlists. So let's go and test this out and see what I can do. So I can go and grab the use YouTube. So I happen to know that you use YouTube. You just paste it in. So like copy and paste it. I'm just going to type it in though. And then it's UA Union. And you can say, I want 3 columns or 2 columns or 1. When you click on preview, it spits out the code, it spits out a preview for you, and you can kind of test it out So it kind of pops up a light box, which in preview mode is very small, but on the actual page, it's great. It's really big, and so you can adjust this however you want. So let's say you want 2 columns, or maybe you just want 1 column. So however you want, you can kind of goes up to 6 and as many rows as you want, up to 12. But basically, it's a tool to help you kind of embed your channel in just one go. So there really wasn't a tool like this on SolidWeb before. So we're going to use this in our example. And like I said, everyone on here, shoot Roy an email, or if you have my email, I'll put it at the end of the presentation. Shoot me an email and I'll give you access to this. But yeah, we're going to build this right here. So this is a page, this local, which is local, I think it's local 862, and they have several different YouTube channels. So what I did is I took that generator and I just put each of the different updates that they have in here in a feed because they just regularly upload to YouTube. And then you're able to kind of see all of their videos on here. And there's a little pagination here so you can kind of scroll through all the different videos. And so it's just an easy way for you to kind of just put a lot of content, if you have that, especially for videos, that comes from YouTube on your page. So we're going to build this out from scratch, and so we set it up, and I'll show you how we did this. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show under the hood here real quick. So to get to the layout builder, this is where we're going, and I'll show you where we're ending. So and what we have. So I clicked on page task layout, and then it kind of shows you. It looks quite similar actually. You see there's some options at the top here. And each of these sections that were added are in here. So we just kind of added various sections and then we kind of built it up and saved it. So let's go ahead and build that out. So there's a couple of things with that, we want to do. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a section page. So I'm going to go ahead and create a section page on SolidWeb. And we're going to call this the video updates and social media section number 2. It'll be pretty much the same thing. So on here, I want to have a custom type of content here. I want to allow for hero. I want the hero to show on here. So this is a section page that shows heroes. At some point, I may also want to have embeds if I want to do individual videos on here. So I'm also going to allow embeds. And then we just give a little description of the page here, and this would show up when someone searches it. So we'll say, just a little, your local 862 video news and updates here from the local, our officers about what is going on in your union. Right, so we're actually going to get rid of that later. So by default, it's going to set it up, but we're going to go ahead and click on save. And so what this will do is give us a pretty blank looking page, and then we're going to go in and start constructing this. So I made this a section that allows plugs. So that part at the top we have to build. So which is right here. So we got to build that part at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a hero and we're going to make it just like this. So I'm going to go and I'm going to create a hero, and then I'm going to go ahead and just select a photo and give it a title. So this is going to be so internally, I'm just going to put, this is going to be the header. The administrative title is just internal. So header for video page, and then you can choose the alignment. I want it center. We're going to say, give it a headline. Welcome to UAW Local 862 video updates. Okay, and then give a little description. Okay, and then in this case, we don't want to link to anything. We just want it as a description. So the image, we're going to choose an image. So I previously uploaded that image. I just took a screenshot from one of the videos. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And there it is. And again, I want it centered, so I'm just going to leave it as centered. For the background color, we can choose whatever we want. I mean, in this case, I'm going to do just the primary. We can make it red if we wanted, yellow. It's going to be the color of the text box. So let's go with a dark blue there, and the text, we can either have white, yellow, pretty much whatever we want. So why don't I choose yellow in this case? And then we can assign sections to sections if we want, but we don't have to do that. The section to assign this content on the site. So we do want to assign it to that. So that would be, that's exactly what we need. So video updates and news. So this is the one that I made earlier. So this is the new one right here. And I'm just going to say save. So what have we done? We've created hero in that section. Now we just have to show it how to display. So I said save. Okay, good. And now I can go to my video updates and social media news page here, and it's not displaying here, but that's completely normal because we haven't told it to. It's a custom type of content. So we'll go to our layout builder now, and now we're going to tell it to show up. So we're going to do a little construction on here to get rid of the stuff we don't need. We don't need this. In fact, we don't need this entire header section because it's going to be, it's only as wide as the page. We want it to be the entire width. So we're going to go ahead and delete that whole thing. As you can see, it's actually, this is set as edge to edge. So, oh, column widths are at 75% actually. So it looks like we can just change that to full, and I think that'll be good. And our margin for the bottom, okay, very good. So we can do that. Now we can just delete this old block here that we don't need anymore. Yep, we don't need it. And in its place is going to be, and this is also the description. We don't need that either. So we'll get rid of that. And so we're going to put a featured, excuse me, we're going to put the hero in there. So I'll click on add block. What does the block do? Adding a block do? We have an entire library of a whole bunch of different type of things we can do. There's maps on here. There's media. As you can see, one of them is recent plugs. So that's the one that I want to choose. So recent plugs. And we can choose from a specific section. I want this to be from the active section. I want to be, let's see here. I want this to be hero. I only want to display one of them because it's just like a banner. So only one column, only one of them to display. And again, I could certainly say, you know, I could choose a specific section, which I just want it from the active section. And again, under plugin types, we want the hero, and we only want our site content, so no one can kind of put anything in there. So okay, looks good. We chose the correct section here. So when we add this, it should display our hero that we just created. Hey, there it is. So that looks great. So now we can start adding on the other sections. So we want to put videos, we want to put our embeds for videos down there, right? So we do have other pieces of content in here. So we can, there's nothing in there right now. So I'll show you. If I hit save, you won't see anything. All you're going to see is just that plug or just that hero, right? Which is right there. So, and it has a title of recent plugs. We don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back into the layout builder here. We're going to adjust the settings and then continue making it look how we want. So we don't want any padding on the side edges because we want it to touch all the sides. The bottom edge, that's fine. We can just maybe, we don't want any margin on the top. So, okay, I think we've adjusted the settings good here. That looks great. I don't want it to say recent plugs, so I'll go ahead and hide that. So we'll do that, and it should change accordingly. Okay, very good. All right, so now we can go ahead and add our different sections. So I'm going to add a section beneath this, and I'm going to make this one column. This is going to be the main one, which is the local's main channel. So I'm going to say I want a one column layout. I can do full or edge to edge. In this case, I want it full because I want it centered and I don't want it like touching on the edges. And then I think the text color would be great if it's a dark blue. Background, we'll keep it white. Default is white, and a little bit of room on the top and the bottom. So we'll give it a little bit of room here. The margin gives you a little bit of room. And then on the bottom, we'll give it a little bit of room as well, 1.5. And you just play around with it. I found these values are pretty good. You always want to give, if you don't want it touching the sides, you want to give it a little bit of margin. If you don't want it touching above, margin on the top and margin on the bottom. If you don't want it touching the sides, give it a little padding on the sides. Okay, so this is going to be the main channel. So I'm just going to say 862 main channel. So that's the ID that I'm going to give it, or excuse me, the administrative label, because that's what's going to show up. I could call this, I think it's called 862 online. So I'll give it 862 online for the ID. That's if I want to link to it later. So, all right, we'll add that section and it is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and add a block to this. For this, I just want a text block because I'm going to take an embed. So this is going to be UAW local 862 online. All right. And then we're going to paste an embed code in here. So basic HTML is not going to work for us. We're just going to use the raw HTML. That'll allow us to just paste in the embed code that we generate. So if we go to my embed code generator, it wants a channel or a playlist URL. So we're going to do a channel in this case. So I'm going to go to the 862 online channel here, and you go to their main channel page and it'll give you this with the little @ symbol. That's what you want. So I'm going to copy that in, and then I'm just going to paste it in there and figure out how many columns I want. I think 3 columns is good, and we'll go with 2 rows. They can always choose more if they want. Let's preview it. It looks good. There's a previous and next button, right? So Awesome. I'm going to generate that embed code. It's going to give me the embed code. I'm just going to copy it. Cool. Now I have the channel embed code ready to go. I'm going to go back to my layout and just paste it in here. So a lot of text gets pasted in there. And so we just go ahead and save it, go add block, and there is our channel. Cool. Now let's build the next section. And I believe the next section was 2 columns. And I think it was light gray because we have white on white. I think we want to vary it a little bit. So we'll add another section. Sections hold blocks, and blocks are what the content produces. So think of section as like your kind of the structure, the bones of it. So I'm going to add this section. Again, I want 2 columns. And this one I do want edge to edge because this is going to be 2 channels kind of embedded next to each other. So I want to give them a lot of space. So the text color, I like that dark blue, so I'm going to use that. The background color, I did want to be a light, just a subtle gray. So neutral too, it might be hard to see, but that is a gray. And then if I look here, the text color, same as the second. Yep. So that's good. Give it a little room on top and bottom, 1.5 on top. And on the bottom edge, yeah, let's give it 1.5. And let's give it a little padding on the sides here because I don't want them to touch necessarily because they'll be side by side. I don't want them to touch because if I don't, then the 2 columns are going to touch each other. So this is going to have and I'm going to call this is going to have the VP updates and it's going to have the chairman. So I'm going to say VP and chairman updates or videos. And each of the blocks that I'm going to add, I'll either add a HTML ID for VP and chairman. So if we want to link to it later, we can. But so I'll add that section and we should have a 2 column and we do. So now I'm going to add my 2 text blocks for each of these. So let's go ahead and add the first text blocks. And this can be for the VP. So we'll say Vice President updates. Very good. And then again, we want the raw HTML. And the ID, if I want to link to it later, I'll just call it VP. And now I got to grab the Vice President's channel, which is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that URL from the channel. And again, if you're on any one of the videos and you want to get to their channel, all you got to do is not click on the ads. No, all you got to do is click on their channel name. It'll take you to their channel, and then that's what you copy. So very good. So this is the new one here. I'm just replacing it. And this one, I want 2 columns because I don't want them to be all squished together. So let me preview that. And that looks pretty good. So let me generate the embed code for that. There it is. Just copy it. Looks good. I'll close that out. And now I'll just put it right in here, paste it on in there, and we'll add that block. So now we have our VP updates there. Looks good. Now we got to add the updates here for the chairman. So I'm going to add another text block. Go ahead, call this chairman updates. Chain man. Oh boy. Chairman updates. There we go. Again, we're pasting code. So for this, I found that raw HTML is the best. Full HTML tends to be less stable. So I like to use the raw HTML for this. So let's go ahead and grab the chairmans. So there's the chairmans. I'll go ahead and grab that. Now, if we wanted to do a playlist instead, we certainly could. Maybe we just wanted to do the playlist. We could go to playlists and we could say, we want the Christmas videos here, and we could just copy that link. So I could click where it says view playlist, copy the link address, or you can just click on the link and it'll take you there and you can copy it. So, but if we wanted to do that, which is fine, we can do that. We're going to say we're going to do a playlist. So I'm going to say, let's do a playlist, and there's our playlist, and then it'll do that instead, right? So you can do either or. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do the main channel. So go back to their home there. And again, we just want up to that @ symbol. So we don't need the featured there. So just this. And let's go ahead and go back to channel and paste that in there. And I do want 2 columns and 2 rows. Invalid URL. Okay, maybe I did not copy it right. So let's go back to one of their videos, go back to their channel, and there it is. Okay, must have had an extra number in there. But it'll tell you if it's wrong. So yeah, I think I did have an extra number in there. Okay, very good. Go back to that. We got a channel and preview. Playlist channel. Let's refresh the page. I think that'll help. Okay, it says an invalid URL. LA, so maybe, let's see here. Yep, that's that. Is it 9? Yeah, no, it's the right channel.
Chris, it looks like you
Yeah.
got an S in there. Chairman's instead of chairman.
Oh, that could be it. It is. So it is. I absolutely had an S in there. You were right. Okay. So I'm glad it tells you when it's wrong, just doesn't let you do a bad embed code. So yeah, until it gets it right, make sure you paste the right one in there. So all right, let's grab our embed code, copy it. It says all right, you're good to go, and then we're gonna go back and put it in our layout. So put it right in here, and this is for the chairman. So I'm gonna go ahead and put chairman, and there we go. Cool. So very good. So let's take a look and see how this looks. I'm just going to go ahead and save the layout and see what we got. Layout override has been saved. And there we go. We have our updates here and our videos are good to go. So yeah, there's many more things you can do with it. This is just a pretty straightforward way to build a simple kind of landing page using the hero as like the image at the top for like kind of a featured section. Beneath that are our channel embeds. So just a simple way to build a custom page. So, but the implications of this, I'm hoping you're seeing are pretty wide. So it's great for video, which as you see, you can use, but you can use it for a lot of different other things. So yeah, this time I will open it up to, well, I'll hand it back to Roy actually.
What we could do, Chris, thank you. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask them now or put them in the chat. So, does anybody have any questions?
Okay. All right. Well, it's appreciate you guys for bearing with me and for checking this out. If you do want to give this a whirl, I would love for everybody who is interested in testing this tool out. It works right now. I want to do a stress test just to make sure that folks that are embedding it handles it and tell me if there's any bugs or anything. But I've tested it pretty vigorously, so it does work pretty decently right now. So be more than happy to have you guys try it out. And yeah, thank you.